Hello everyone. I greet you all. Trust you all are doing awesome. So that's my beautiful client right there, rocking the Iro and Buba made for her by Joieblissconcepts. Is it not lovely? So without wasting so much time, I'll be showing you how I cut and stitched this beautiful Iroandbuba. So if this sounds like what you love, kindly watch to the end, and please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment and share this video. The materials needed for this tutorial are the lace, which is almost 6 yards, the bias to pipe the neck of the blouse, my measuring tape, chalk, scissors, pins. So this style we are making is an African style. We call it Iroandbuba, meaning a blouse and a wrapper. So first things first, we are going to cut out the wrapper, which is about 2 yards and 16 inches. So that will be fine to make the wrapper. So you can add extra 2 inches for the hemming of the sides. Okay, the hemming of the sides is about 2 inches to 2.5 inches. It all depends. So first you fold in half an inch, then you fold 1.5 inches, then you stitch down. So don't worry guys, after showing you the cutting process, the later part of this video is the stitching process. Okay, so just keep following. When I was done cutting out the wrapper, this is the blouse we want to cut out, and I'll be folding it this way, such a way that the lace pattern is facing downwards, because that's where the beauty of this blouse lies. So I just folded it into two like this, and you know what, at the end of the day we'll be folding into four, because we'll be dividing the horizontal body measurement by 4. Hope you guys understand. So first of all, I folded into 4, and because it's a lace fabric, I just had to hold it with pins. When working on a lace fabric, you need to be extra careful. So this is me folding it the second time. Okay, first I folded into 2, and this is the second time I'm folding it. So basically it was folded into 4. So what I'll be doing next is to determine the horizontal body measurement, and for my client, her bust is bigger than her hip, so we'll be making use of that measurement. Okay, so when I was done folding into 4, I just also held it down with pins. Please, you need to be generous with pins when working on lace, and not just lace, when you are sewing. So this was when I folded into 4 after determining the widest part of her body and dividing it into 4. And if you are sewing a buba, you will need to add about 5 or 6 inches allowance. It's not meant to be fitted, although it still depends on you. But for the regular buba blouse, you need to add about 4, 5, 6 inches. For my client, I added 5 inches to her horizontal body measurement. The standard neck width and neck depth of buba is 4 inches by 4 inches. Although if your client is on the slim side, maybe you can use 3.5, or and 4. The truth is, if you don't make it big enough, the head won't pass through because it doesn't have a zipper. So for my client, I used 4 by 4, and I gave that curve, that U curve, and I am cutting it nicely because it's lace. If you don't cut it well, it may not be even. Okay, so that is set aside. From that shoulder part, I would mark the armhole of about 10.5 inches. Again, it varies, so I would just notch that part. That's for the armhole. Then for the round bust measurement, which will also be the same all the way, we'll just divide the round bust measurement by 4, then add extra 5 inches allowance. So I just opened it up for you to see how it will look, and we'll be using the bias to pipe the neck later. So keep watching guys. This is what is left from the fabric. We'll cut out the sleeve now. Okay, we'll cut out the sleeves. For you to get two sleeves, that's for the right and the left hand, it's good to fold it into four like this. Okay, you saw what I did. I first of all folded into two and I folded into two again to give me four. So remember, it was 10.5 inches I marked on that blouse for the armhole. So we'll do the same thing. We'll mark 10.5 inches, but this time around you add 1 inch for seam allowance. So instead of cutting 10.5 inches width for the um sleeve, it will be 11.5. Can you see it, guys? So it is 11.5. So that extra 1 inch is for the seam allowance. So here I was just reshaping it, okay, so that it is um even. So that is set. So now we want to determine the length of the sleeve, how long you want it. Some persons want it long, some persons want it 3/4, some persons want it at elbow level. So it depends on what your client wants, and you need to also let them know the various lengths. So this was the length she wanted, a little very close to the wrist. So you saw the picture, almost full. But recently most persons will just do 3/4, like the style we call oleku. Oleku is also very similar to Iroandbuba. So this is how the sleeves will be, one for the right and one for the left. Hope you guys are following. So this is what is left from the cutout. Maybe this was just what was left from the lace. So the next thing is to determine the scarf. So I just used the remaining part of this fabric to do the scarf. So I hemmed the sides. I think I had to measure it so that you guys would see it. It was about 1 yard left after cutting out the wrapper, the blouse, and the sleeves. So after getting this scarf, that small piece you saw was the leftover from the almost 6 yards of the lace. So this is the sewing process, guys. I had to fasten this part because since I just wanted you to see the sewing, the cutting and the stitching, I had to just add this part to this video so you see it. So first I worked on the wrapper, hemming the two sides of the wrapper. But later on I added rope because my client said she wanted rope for easy tying. So I didn't show that part. What you have to do is just to get white fabric, either satin or any white fabric that you have, and cut a reasonable length. Then you just add it to the sides of the wrapper. You will see it at the end of this video, the final look. Then this part is very important. It is not easy to pipe the neck of a blouse, not just blouse, shirts, because of the curved nature. So I had to slow this part so you will see. So the first thing is how you fold your bias. You saw the way I folded it at that beginning part because you don't want the raw edge to show. So after folding it, see, you don't have to be fast making this part. Just take your time. So I just placed the right side of the bias on the right side of the neck of the blouse. Hope you guys understand. So I just kept on stitching, and in case you don't understand what I'm saying, watch the video very well. It's explicit. It's very straightforward. So I just kept on stitching and stitching. Don't let your hand shake because any little shake, it will affect that shape of the neck. It won't be fully round. So I just kept on doing it till I got to the end, and I would suggest you use a bias that is long enough to go round instead of patching it. You know, that one would not be nice. You'll be seeing all the notes, which will not make your work presentable. So just get a bias that is sufficient enough for the whole neck. So this is how it looks, guys. So now I'll be bending it. I'll be bending it into the wrong side, like folding it inwards, okay, and I'll be stitching on it. So before now I used to avoid or run away from making Iroandbuba, even though it looks simple, but it's very tactical. But after making this for my clients, I think it's very easy and straightforward. The most tricky part of this outfit is the neck area because it's a curve. Outside that, every other thing is just easy. Okay, every other thing is easy. So when I was done stitching down, yeah, it gave me that round neck. So it's good you give it a good press. But me, I gave it a good ironing after the whole sewing process. This is how this looks for now. So any side can serve as the front or back. Okay, any side can serve as the front or back. Now we'll be pinning it again, folding it into two to determine the wideness of the buba. When I say buba, I mean blouse or the top, okay, in case you are not a Nigerian or an African person. So we want to determine how wide the cloth will be so that we can stitch on the side. So like I said, her bust is 44. I added 5 inches for extra allowance, then 1 inch for seam allowance. So that is the 1 inch I'm marking right there. So I just marked 1 inch on both sides because that's the line I'll be stitching on. This is me stitching on the sides, and I will just be leaving a slit at that waist part for easy wearing. So I didn't just stitch to the end. I left about 3 to 4 inches. Can you see it? So now I'm just folding that part to hem it neatly. The reason for this is to allow for easy wearing, okay? And again, don't be scared that it's going to expose the person's maybe body part. No, wrapper will definitely cover those areas. This slit I made, the wrapper will cover it. It's now time to attach the sleeves. So before you do that, it's good you first of all close it like this. That is, stitch on the sleeve first before attaching it to the blouse. Don't forget, I added 1 inch for seam allowance, so I will just neatly sew on that 1 inch. For easy sewing, it's good to just mark it out like that so you follow the chalk marks. So I did it for the two sleeves. So I'm also done making the second sleeve. So watch how I will fix it. I turned it to the right side while the blouse is on the wrong side. So I just put the sleeve from inside, just as you can see me do. You see this thing, this aspect is very confusing. If you don't know it, you may go and mistakenly face the wrong and the right side together. No. So first your blouse is on the wrong side, just as you are seeing it on your screen. Then you flip your sleeve to the right side and put it inside just like that, and stitch at 1 inch or half an inch depending on the sewing allowance you added to it. And that's it. So I did this stitching for the both sleeves. So are we done now? If you want to make buba and iro, is this something you will be able to do comfortably? So I think this video is detailed enough and straight to the point. Even though you are a beginner, this video is easy for you to understand. So this is the final look after giving it a good ironing. You can see it came out nice. And guess what? My client loved it so much. She was so impressed. Here is the wrapper and the extra rope I added. So guys, tell me what you think about this tutorial. If you have watched it to this point, you are the real MVP. If you haven't given this video a thumbs up yet, please do. Do not forget to subscribe, like, comment and share this video. See you all in my next tutorial. Bye.